Next.
Do you want me to come to the stand and state my name just
Yes.
to say that I agree?
You can state your name from right there. How's that? Just say
That's
it.
wonderful. Rebecca Evans, and I agree with what Nancy has said and the lady that presented your son's document papers as well as this gentleman.
Okay. Thank you very much. See, I told you should have sat up front.
I should have. Mike Schramm, Perry resident. My comments are, tonight are directed solely to the idea and not to those who proposed it. My comments mean no ill will towards those who are proposing it, but I am adamantly opposed to the idea, and I think it's a terrible idea, and that we should not implement it. That pretty much renders moot the questions you asked about funding or how we go about doing it. We shouldn't go about doing it. My opposition is generally categorized under 4 principles, and some of these have been addressed: safety, efficacy, responsibility, and liberty. The consensus is not there in the medical community that there are no ill effects to this, especially in the long run, and I won't belabor those because those have been addressed by several of the other community members. Under efficacy, it's been debated here a little bit, but my understanding is that this is principally targeted to people that are 12 years old or younger. So therefore, what we're doing, if we do this, in my view, is we are forcing the medication of an entire population for the benefit of a minority or subset of that population. And if we further, as kind of been mentioned, if we do this, we also get the fluoride in the water we wash our clothes with and all the other things, and so we're effectively washing a lot of that down the drain. In increasing importance to me are the following 2, and that's responsibility. And as I mentioned, the proposal seeks the benefit of the minority at the cost of the whole. There may be some in our community that suffer from some disease, say osteoporosis, and that would probably be a minority of our community. We could propose that we add anti-osteoporosis medication to the water. That would benefit some of them, and we would all pay for that. Maybe there are others that think we should add nutrients to the water. Maybe we should add Kool-Aid to the water. The question is, where do we stop? My proposal is that we keep it pure. I don't think it's the responsibility or purview of government, municipal or otherwise, to pick the winners or losers of demographic groups. If someone wants to have fluoride, they're perfectly free to exercise both their agency and their responsibility to do that. As has been mentioned, there are tablets, toothpaste, applications by the dentist, and they're free to have that done. But they shouldn't seek to force me to either pay for that or myself to have to do it too, just because they want that done. And that leads into the last item, which is liberty. Again, this proposal is essentially the forced medication of an entire population, and it reduces our liberty by doing that. As if you've watched the news lately, many of you would probably know that at least one state in our country that has filed suit against the federal government. I believe there are several others planning to do that for health care. And their position is that the government should not have the ability, and legally does not have the ability, to force individuals to purchase health care. However, in contrast to our current situation, that they are, to my knowledge, the federal government has not had the audacity to also force the people that are having to buy that health care to consume that health care. Contrast that with ours, we would effectively be forcing us to purchase this health care, quasi-health care, and we'd be forced to literally swallow that health care. So in summary, however good intention this proposal is, I believe it's misguided, and I would encourage you to reject it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Jerry Evans, area resident. Things have been covered, I think, quite well against, and I'm supporting the against movement. Let me give you a few items though that haven't been covered. The cost is horrendous. The health department in Salt Lake Valley said that it could be done for X amount, and now 20 times X amount, over $5 million. Reason being, we didn't account for costs of safety equipment and other equipment needed fluoridate. As an example, Perry City would have to build safety showers, plumbing and injectors, and pumps and catch basins, and much more, which usually require their own buildings at each well and each treatment site. The injectors recommended by the health department came from the eastern and southern states, which have about 30 to 60 pounds per square inch water pressure. On the Wasatch Front, the water pressure is around 90 to 150 pounds per square inch, and that triples and quadruples the cost of the injectors and the equipment and these parts that have to handle a higher pressure. Safety gear, you have to have eye wash at every treatment site, you have to have showers at every treatment site, you have to have exposure suits, masks, trained personnel, a lot of training for personnel. So it is expensive. Salt Lake Valley reduced their fluoride from 0.9 parts per million to 0.7 parts per million, which Dr. Nelson recommended, and found that most were over-fluoridated. Most people get what they need, and the target area here is the children 6 to 9 years old, and there are other alternatives for fluoride for those children. Us older folk, it's going to damage our bones and make them brittle. The right dose at the right time for the right person, not one dose into the water for everyone. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. It's a topical treatment. It's not systemic. In other words, you shouldn't drink it. You should put it on the teeth. It's in swishing the mouth or fluoride toothpaste. That's how it should be applied, not drank into the body. It doesn't help. And again, I would like the agency to decide. I'd like to have clean, pure water. We contaminated the air, we contaminated the ground. I'd like to have as clear water as I can drink.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Hello, my name's Steve Bailey. I live up at Perry Park on the east side. I am strongly against adding fluoride to my drinking water. My biggest concern is we as Americans think that we can just add something to fix a problem. What we're really doing wrong is we as Americans, we eat too many sweets as a whole. Just look around everybody here. You look at the grade school kids, there's an epidemic of kids eating too many sweets. And so I think as Americans, we need to back off on that. It's a health risk. If people would do what they should be doing, not eating so many sweets, they would have diabetes and other health problems. And then to help solve that problem, we throw chloride in the water. We think that's going to fix the problem. That's not really going to fix the problem, you know. And also, I think that we need to consider this very closely because it limits my freedom as a person when I turn on my tap. And I also like to ditto what Quinn, Freeze, Nancy, others that are against it. I remember when I was living in Farmington, there was this great debate. It was voted down by the citizens there, and it boiled right down to it that it's just not needed. And some of the local dentists there said it was not needed. That's where I grew up, was down in Farmington. Also,